Good morning. My name's Chili Chilton, and this is a brand new way of communicating with Sunrise Church and to all of you that might be checking this out for the first time, maybe on YouTube or Facebook. But we're glad you're here. And it's a unique way of communicating the weekly message, but specifically just to you who are online or at home, unable to be with us in the live setting. Because a lot of times in our live setting, we do some interaction, and it's sometimes hard to pick up on that in a live stream or something that's shot with a camera from the back of the room. But through this, we're able to just talk right to you. All right, so let's jump in with our very first one. We are in a brand new series that we are calling Christmas Presents. All right, so today I'm talking about the gift of presents. Now, I know that that's a tough word to pronounce and kind of differentiate between presents and presents, right? Did you hear a big difference? There really isn't. We all want presents. In fact, I bet some of you, now that Thanksgiving's behind you and you've really started to embrace or endure Black Friday, you've been given lists from your kids, from your family, from your friends. And what do they want? They want presents. They want gifts. They want something purchased that they've been wanting for a long time, or that they came up with so that you'd have something to buy them, right? Well, those things are important, and I do a lot of the Christmas shopping for my family, so I've been online and I've been trying to be a good steward of finances, but also to bless my family and to buy some things that I think would really be meaningful. But what we're talking about here is presence, Presenc, presence. And that's different. God is with us. That's the message of Christmas, God with us. And that's that word Emmanuel. That means he's right here. And so today we're going to talk about the gift of presence. And, I know that Christmas stress just got real. I talked about it already with Black Friday and getting done with Thanksgiving. And many of the people in my world up here are hunters. And so here we are on Sunday, and we're barely catching our breath. If you're at the live service today, then we're having a potluck afterwards. And I know some of you kind of maybe have like thoughts about potluck meals, but they do potluck right in Rogers City. It's here, at least at our church. So it's delicious. But the reason we're doing it is to stay around afterwards and decorate the church now for Christmas. So we are making the shift to a full-on Christmas focus. And so we're bribing our people here with some delicious food. And the Lions game's already been played, so there's not a game to run home to. So we're hoping that we'll get some people around here. So if you're there online and you're not able to join us, send some warm thoughts to us and pray for us today. Because sometimes people get kind of weird about decorating, and everyone has an opinion, and we're not trying to do anything that'll offend, but we are trying to just move forward and do something that'll be fun with this new series. And so today, I want to pose a question to you. How often are we so busy with the, stuff of Christmas that we miss the moment? There's parties, and there's buying, and there's decorating, and there's cooking and cleaning and all of that stuff. And we got people coming into town, or we're going out of town. There's a lot of things going on. And how often does all the stuff, all the craziness, get in the way of us really just appreciating the moment, right? In Matthew chapter 1, verse 2, 3. So it's Matthew 1, 2, 3. It says, "Look, the virgin will conceive a child, and she will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel," which means God is with us. Matthew 1, 23. God is with us. That's the story of Christmas. That's why Jesus came, to be with us. And so the scriptures begin with this magnificent story. A true story, of course. And so I want us to just think about a few questions today. Can presence be the presence? Can being there be the gift that we give others? And you're like, no way, my kids are expecting this. Yep, I get that. But there's something about creating memories and moments that's even better than money. And at the time, maybe that doesn't feel that way. But can presence be presence? I think yes. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, number one, be with God. James 4:8 says, come close to God and God will come close to you. That sounds pretty simple, right? Come close to God and God will come close to you. That's a deliberate daily devotion to God that says, I'm coming close to you. And God's like, I'm already on my way. He always meets us more than halfway. And that's the way he is. And so what does it mean to experience presence above, presence? It's drawing near to God. It's coming close to God. And here's the thing. If you're coming close to God, so is everyone else in your world. Everyone else gets the wake of your relationship to some level. And so invite people to experience God and breathe in deeply and allow his presence to love through you to them. Release those feelings and emotions, even the difficult ones like grief or pain of the past. I know that the season carries weight and not everything's positive. Some of us have lost loved ones and some of us have gone through hardships and maybe we have moved far away, but God is never far away and he understands everything that we are going through. So take time, read the Christmas story from the Bible again and again, and pray, asking God to connect with his presence. Ask him to understand Jesus' birth in a way that you never understood it before this year. I encourage you. So, yes, but you got to be with God. Let me ask again, can presence be the presence? Yes. Second thing, you got to be with others. Got to be with God and you got to be with others. Look at John 13:34. So now I'm giving you a new commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you. Love each other. Well, I love people. I try to love people. Yeah, that's not saying try to love people or only love the people that are easy to love. It says, love each other just as I have loved you. How has he loved you? Man, he's loved you through the good and the bad, the ugly. He's loved you when you were nice and you wanted him to love you, and when you were running, he never stops loving you. So how do we do that? How do we be with others in a way that shows the presence of God? Well, I think you got to be deliberate about confronting the tendency of being distracted. We get so distracted, there's a million things, and there's every Christmas movie, and there's all kinds of people calling us, and then we got to see what people have just posted on TikTok or Instagram. And there's a lot of things that compete for our attention, and so if we're going to have time for our friends, our family, those that are important to us during this season, we have to be deliberate. We have to make conscious choices to be there for them and to pay attention. So I'm encouraging you to listen more, and then engage and truly be in the moment. Be engaged in the conversation. Make eye contact with the people in your life. It's so important, and it will mean something to them. Maybe you're going to have a conversation this holiday that will turn out to be, looking back from it years later, one of the most pivotal conversations you've ever had. And you didn't expect it. You didn't go in trying to make it happen. My challenge is simply choose experience over expense. Choose experience over expense. Yet buying them things if you can, I mean, that's great, and I appreciate when people are generous. But choose experience over the expense. Spend time on people, not on presents. Challenge people to look for ways to, I don't know, be a gift, and show them ways that you are trying to be a gift to others through kindness and good deeds and serving. I remember a sign we used to tease about in our house. It said, "Love is homemade." But it really meant, you could pick up stuff around the house, rewrap it, repackage it, give it to somebody, or you could create something, bake something, build something. But more important, be something. Be who God created you to be, and let other people enjoy that, because God made you awesome, and they need that. Let me ask one more time. Can presents be the presents? Well, yes, but you got to be present now. That's number 3. Be present now. So how do we do it again? We got to be with God. 2, we got to be with others. And 3, we got to be present now. Looking back at John 13, remember we read it just a few moments ago where it said, "Now I'm giving you a new commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you." Well, it goes on in verse 35 and says, "Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples." How do they know? By our church brand, by our denomination, by our worship set? Nope. They know that we are followers of Christ. They know that we are his disciples by how we love one another. So I got to tell you, we need to emphasize the message of hope that's found through Christ, and address our past and our present and our future with that in mind, that there is always hope. There's always something that God is working. He's working all things together for good. I want to encourage you to appreciate the moment. Reflect on the meaning of Jesus being the light of the world. If he's the light of the world, then darkness is running. Darkness is fading, because the light of the world cannot be put out. I encourage you again to study the story of the wise men or the magi who went looking for Jesus. And they took time to actually pursue him. And that may be for you. The wisest thing you could do this holidays is really pursue him. Take time to find him in a way that you've never found him before, and enjoy it. And what will come from that? Well, there's a few good things, because presence is the ultimate present. Look at what it says in Matthew 16. Don't store up treasures here on earth, where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and thieves break in and steal them. Store up treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. And we all know this. Many of the gifts that you got last Christmas are already gone. We don't even know where they are. And they're at landfills, and they're handed on, and they're not that important. So what could you give this Christmas that will outlast the garbage pile? What can you give? Well, the greatest gift simply can't be material things. Can't. You got to experience the presence of Jesus. Up close and personal. Jesus. I think so many of the greatest gifts come in humble packages. Like a diamond, it came from a lump of coal, and pearl came from a slimy oyster. And of course, Jesus came from an animal trough in a cave in a basic small town where nobody had room for him. He didn't come in with trumpet fanfare and big parades and "this is the King of Kings." Humble, hardly noticed. But he became everything that we needed, everything that is Christmas and everything that is Christianity. Jesus loved us enough to be ultimately humble. And I just want us to think about that. Where do we begin? Where do you and I begin this journey? Well, I would say this: choose today to live out the reality of God's presence every day. Not just for Christmas, not just, well, I'm going to give it a shot for the month of December, but just getting up every day with the sunrise, because we are sunrise people, and saying, it's a new day, a new opportunity. Use me, God. Show me who you're working in. Show me where I can join you in what you're already doing. Embrace Christ as the source of joy and allow his presence to transform your life. You know, in the same way Christ is present to you, let him be present through you. He can be the present through you because of who he is to you. You getting that? The joy, the hope, the eternity that's found in a believer. Man, there's nothing greater. And you know what? It costs you nothing and everything, because we give our whole life to him. But then he takes that life and he shares it freely with anyone that we come in contact with. And what are the returns? Well, they're priceless. That's the greatest thing. They're priceless. So I encourage you today to think about it, to pray about it, and let's be different. Let's be like Jesus. Christmas presents. This is our opportunity and beginning. And God, I pray for every person listening today that they would grab a hold of you, they would trust you, and they'd give their life to you. If there's anyone that doesn't know you, that they would say, Jesus, come into my heart, forgive me of my sin, and be my Lord and Savior. In my dirty, stable heart, be born in me and start a new life. And you know what? If you mean it, if you believe it, he will do it. And the journey begins now. So thank you for taking time to spend with me and this message today. And I pray that God will just do exceedingly more than you can even think or imagine this week. And it will be the greatest Christmas of your life. All right? God bless. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.